Welcome to Shomach Shov on the Daf Shir's Pansol Lunishbas Ambiak Shom Leabas Yitzchok. We're holding Basra Daf Kuf Tes. The Gemara Amud Beis brings the story of Yehonasan, who was the grandson of Moshe Rabbeinu, and he was a priest to Pesel Micha, to the Zohar called Pesel Micha. And the Gemara discusses why is he called Mishpachas Yehuda. And the Gemara discusses that he's a Levi. And how do we know that he was a Levi? Because Micha says, Atoy yodati ki yetiv Hashem li, ki hayali halevi lekohen. He was praising Hashem that he got him a priest who was a Levi. That's something which needs really a lot of beer. We're talking about Avodah Zarah. Talking about here as a priest, someone who's a priest of Avodah Zarah. And he's saying, Baruch Hashem, to have a priest of Avodah Zarah. How do we understand this? And furthermore, which the main thing needs beer over here. How do you understand that Yehonasan, who's the grandson of Moshe Rabbeinu, he's a priest of Avodah Zarah? How is that even shaykh? Now, just to mention that there is the Balaturim, Tag Yehonasan ben Uziel brings it. There's a medrash that says that Yisro made up with Moshe Rabbeinu that the first child that he will have, he will be dedicated to Avodah Zarah. And Moshe Rabbeinu agreed to that. So Gershom was supposed to be someone who's dedicated for Avodah Zarah. This medrash needs a lot of beer. How can you understand such a thing? And what's shot that Moshe Rabbeinu agreed to that, such a thing? There's a lot of Torah on that. But the Mashmon says the Gemara does not agree with it, and this is the one who discusses it is the Beis Yehuda, the Rivan. The Pashut in our Gemara, the Gemara is trying to find a reason why Yehonasan had a tendency to Avodah Zarah. And the Gemara says because he came from Yisrael. And the Gemara asks, what about Pinchas? Also came from Yisrael. So Mashmos of the Gemara is because the reason he was dedicated to Avodah Zarah was because of the Mishpacha problem, and not because his father Gershom was Mishubah of Avodah Zarah in the beginning when he was born. So we need to understand, at least the Pashut Pshat in the Gemara. How do we understand Yehonasan's Pshat? How does he go and be a Kohen of Avodah Zarah? And even though the Gemara is going to address it in the next daf, they did it for Parnasa, but still, it needs Havana. So I want to share over here a Gevaldik and Nikuda that my Rebbe Ramosh Shapir Zitzal said. Is one of the only things that were printed in Bechayav of Ramosh Shapir. It's a shir that he gave. Someone wrote it, he went through it, and it was printed in a kavitz called Be'er Yitzchak Chela Gimel. There Moshe brings a Rashi in Sefer HaPardis, who says at Dvar Pele Godel, that the name Yud Kivavke, the way to read Yud Kivavke, is the beer of the name of Hashem is in Aramaic. How can it be the name of Hashem is in Aramaic? So Moshe has a very, very long arichus. And the main nekuda that he comes out with is that in the name Yud Kivavke, the name of Hashem, there's two pchinas. There's the Shem itself. That's called Tziruf Yartiyos. That's something which is very high. And then there's the way the Shem, the way the name is connected to us. How human beings, our Am Yisrael is able to connect to this name. And the main Chiddush of Yetzias Mitzrayim was, as brought down in the beginning of Parashat Vayero, Ushmi Hashem lo nerdati lahem. Shmuel tells Moshe Rabbeinu, I did not moidi Hashem to the office. I mean, they knew the name, but that the way to relate to the name, that connection that Am Yisrael has to the name, wasn't given to the office yet. It was given to Am Yisrael in Yetzias Mitzrayim. And that's the idea that's Aramaic. Aramaic is the way Am Yisrael speaks to Ribono Shel Olam. We know, just to give an example to this, that in Tefillah, we have to be careful not to say Tefillah in Aramaic unless you're davening B'tzibur, because the Malachim don't understand Aramaic. It's only a conversation, a words, a language that Am Yisrael can have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu directly without Malachim in between. So Aramaic is unique to the inner conversation between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael. And we're ma'ich on this in a different place. But because Yud Kevavke, when we're saying the Yud Kevavke, the way you read it is based in Aramaic. What Rashi and Sefer HaPardis means to say, it's not talking about the actual shame, but how the shame relates to us, how Am Yisrael connect to the name. And with that, Moshe goes on to explain that what is the idea of Pesel Micha? We know the Gemara says that when Am Yisrael went into Yamsuf, Kriyas Yamsuf, they took with them Pesel Micha. That's why the Yam wanted to come and drown them. Because Pesel Micha went into Yamsuf. How do we understand? You're going into Kriyas Yamsuf and you're taking Avodah Zarah? So explains Moshe, Pesel Micha, what the Nekuda Pesel Micha is. Pesel Micha believes in Hashem. It's not a kfira. There is a Yud Kevavke. They just don't believe that we're able to connect to the name of Hashem directly. We need something, we need an intermediate to connect to the name in order for a human being to be connected to it. So Pesel Micha, although it's still Avodah Zarah, but it's not Avodah Zarah kfir b'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They believe in Hashem. Just they feel they need intermediate to connect to Hashem. They need to have that bypass, something in order to connect the name of Hashem. That explains our Gemara over here, that the Micha says, oh, Baruch Hashem, thank you Hashem for giving me the priest who is a Levi. Because he believes in Hashem. He just feels that he needs a way to connect to Hashem this way. And with that, Ramosha goes on to explain the Gemara or the Zara that says over there that in the Psukim of Micha, some of the names of Hashem are Kodesh, some are Chayil. One goes to explain what's the difference. But with this, we may come to explain what's going on with Yehonasan, the grandson of Moshe Rabbeinu. Yehonasan, who saw his grandfather speaking Shechina Medaberes B'toch Goyim. Moshe Rabbeinu, the level of his connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's no human being in the world who was able to get to that level. It's a full connection. It's something which is beyond anything that a person can comprehend. And there was no Navi that got to that level ever. So a grandson of Moshe Rabbeinu B'davka is the one who feels, okay, my grandfather is Shechina Medaberes B'toch Goyim. He could connect to Shem Havaya. But me, I'm a regular human being. How do I connect to Shem Havaya? And he could be persuaded to make the mistake of Pesel Micha. Dafka him more than any other person. Because he saw his grandfather, he feels the only way to connect to Hashem is Shechina B'toch Goyim. If I don't have that, so I need something else. How do I connect? Me, to connect to be able to connect to Shem Hashem, to be able to get to that level, something which is beyond us, and therefore he came to the mistake of Pesel Micha. Kach ef shaloimar. And this is the terrible mistake of Pesel Micha, because every Yid can connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu directly. And just to conclude, this daf is learned on Yom Kippur. Kayadua b'divrei Rabbeinu. The whole idea of Yom Kippur is that we're able to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the highest level. Beyond all the midos, the rizgala in the world, able to go to what's called the Ratzon HaElyon, the highest place of connection, Shaykh. Every single Yid is able to connect to such a high level. That's mamish, the opposite of Micha's representing. Micha says Hashem is so, it's the Shem Hashem, we're not able to connect to it. We need some intermediate. Adarabah, we're able to connect not only to Shem Hashem, we're able to connect to the highest level of Gilu in the world. Anyone who wants to join the Shom Machshava email list to WhatsApp group, please email shommachshava@gmail.com.